All right, so as the presidential elections in Nigeria bear down on us, in Nigeria, those elections will hold in January 2027. I just wanted to make a few observations about elections and campaigns and the whole 9 yards. It's important that we all recognize that the election is not about the day of voting. Election is a process, and that process never stops. What do I mean by that? Even when a winner has been declared and the president has been sworn in, electioneering doesn't stop because there is a political party that the president belongs to. That political party still exists. They will have their offices, there will be members of staff running the office of the political party. There will be directors, there will be legal advisors. All these people will be situated in the political party's office. And there's a reason why. The reason why is that the election process itself, it doesn't just start and end on the day of voting. From the moment you're registering for your voter card to when you're going to verify the voter card, when the Independent National Electoral Commission puts up the names and they tell you go and check and verify that your name is there and be sure that that is your polling unit. All these things add up to become the election. Why did I decide to talk about this process today? The recent court judgment on the newly formed ADC and INEC's decision to not recognize any of the two factions of the ADC. The ADC stands for African Democratic Congress, the political party here in Nigeria. So the Independent National Electoral Commission of Nigeria has decided not to recognize any of the two factions of the ADC. And the reason is very clear. There are unsolved issues within the ADC. The ADC was a party that was already in existence. It had a chairman, Ralph Nwosu. It also had members of an executive. Now, some people bought into the ADC. They bought into an already existing party. Unfortunately, they didn't tick all the boxes. And that's why I'm doing this video today. In coming out to participate in an election, every stage of that election has boxes you must tick. Tick the boxes. When you say you formed a political party, until the Electoral Commission says that yes, you are indeed fully formed party, if all the boxes are not ticked, that party really doesn't exist. So what is the situation here? Why has INEC taken this decision? It has taken this decision because one of the members of the ADC, the original members, the deputy national chairman, a northerner, went to court to say that he wasn't consulted, he didn't resign, and in fact, he's alleging that his resignation letter has been forged. You would expect that the experienced people you have seen moving into the ADC would know all these kinds of little knickknacks that can throw their plans into jeopardy. We're talking about experienced politicians. David Mark, one-time Senate president, member of the PDP. We have Rauf Aregbesola, one-time governor of Osun State, known as the second in command to the current president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. For years, Aregbesola and Tinubu were very close. In fact, the rumor at that time was if anyone was going to take over after Tinubu, if Tinubu retired from politics, it looked to be Aregbesola. And you would expect a party that has Amechi, former governor of Rivers State, Aregbesola, David Mark, Peter Obi. These are not rookies. These men are not rookies. You bought into a party, but the process wasn't complete. And that's where they are. And instead of them focusing on how they can make this right, they're holding press conferences all over the place, and making accusations against everyone. There's two things to do now. Hope is not yet lost. The current ADC, that is the David Mark faction, you can call on the gentleman, the deputy national chairman from the older ADC, involve him in this new party you are floating, or go back to court and expedite the case that he has brought. Because the danger here is that if his case doesn't come to a complete conclusion, it is possible that the ADC won't field any candidates in 2027. And that's where the worry is. It can still be done, but you need to reach out. Either reach out to the deputy national chairman, I forget his name now, Nephew something. He's the one who's aggrieved. He is the one claiming that his signature on that resignation form was forged. He never signed it. In any case, that resignation form looks funny. It looks like a pre-prepared application form, and then people just filled in the post they were resigning from. Who resigns like that? So if there is an anomaly and there is a challenge, someone is alleging that the resignations were not properly obtained, then it means that no party could have been handed legally to David Mark's faction. And that also brings me to the point of political parties. The Constitution is very clear. There are 4 requirements for anyone who wants to be president. And one of those requirements is that the person must be a member of a political party on whose platform he will contest that election. I'll take that again. There are 4 requirements for anyone who wants to be president. And one of them is that you must be a member of a political party on whose platform you'll be contesting that presidential seat. Now, you would imagine that someone like Peter Obi, who, to all intents and purposes, in 2023, I've never met anyone so lucky. You came out to contest the presidency. When you didn't get the ticket under the PDP, you moved, you went to Labour Party. You rode that wave. You didn't have to do anything. The Labour Party, the members, your followers, the obedient, all of them helped you to ride that wave. You rode that wave on the Labour Party. That party gave you the presidential ticket on a platter. And then what did you do? After you lost the election, instead of you to nurture the Labour Party back, it had become factionalized. You moved. It's the same way you moved back then in the day when you were governor of Anambra State. After promising the late Odumegwu Ojukwu that you would not leave APGA, he allowed you to contest as the governorship candidate of APGA back in the day. You left APGA and moved to another party. Here's my point. If you, a presidential candidate, cannot unify a political party, is it a country of 221 million people with diverse languages, diverse opinions, strong ethnic and religious biases that you want to unify? A party that gave you all that. The Labour Party gave you so much. You defeated the godfather of Lagos in the presidential election in Lagos State in 2023. You had no business leaving the Labour Party. That party would have served you today. Where are you today, 2026? You are still running around looking for a party. You move to ADC, you realize that, it looks like this is Atiku's Democratic Congress. You've tried to go back to PDP, you can't go back. APGA, you can't go. In fact, if you hadn't left APGA back in the day, you would have been the presidential candidate of APGA for 2027. You couldn't even nurture the Labour Party. At the first sign of disunity, you fled. So here's where we are at. Anyone who seriously wants to be president here, I think you need to consider opening your own party, floating your own party. You can see what happened with current President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In 1999, he was the candidate of the Alliance for Democracy, AD. It didn't take him long to realize that he wasn't the owner of this party. He was subject to their whims and caprices. He didn't like the person they had recommended to be his running mate. They weren't getting on well, but he was stuck with her. Haven't you noticed? Soon after that, he formed the Action Congress, AC. That metamorphosed to the Action Congress of Nigeria, ACN. And it is the ACN he used as leverage to get into the APC, that merger of the APC. And the reason he's still standing today is because he formed his own party. If you are serious about contesting the presidency, I would have thought the minute Nyesom Wike was taking over the PDP and, very upset that the PDP had given the ticket to a northern person after 8 years of President Buhari, I would have thought that an Atiku, for instance, would have started either trying to register a party or actually trying to buy into a party. If you do not have your party in this country, in Nigeria, you will be subject to the whims and caprices of the original owners of a party. That's just the way it is. And we've seen it. There are many precedents that have shown that this thing doesn't work. You move into a party, you think that everything is good, and then along the way, things start to change. We even see it in the defections. You can see what's happening in the defections now. All those governors who have defected to the APC, they're going to have issues down the line because they've already been people in the APC who were gearing up to contest these elections. Now they've all had to stand down their ambition because according to the APC's constitution, when a governor defects to the APC, he automatically becomes the leader of the party. So, in conclusion, focus on the process. This election doesn't start and end on the day of voting. Rigging doesn't start and end on the day of voting. From the minute you're registering, in fact, disenfranchising people from registering, from getting a voter's card is rigging. And that's when the rigging has started. So everyone who keeps looking on the day of voting, by the day of voting, it's all done. The process is all done. But before then, you've got to make sure all your papers are complete and intact, because there are many technical rules, many loopholes that your opponents will use to challenge you if you win the election and your papers are not intact. Your game isn't tight. Your opponent will head to the tribunal and utilize those little loopholes to ensure that INEC withdraws your win from you. So, to the ADC, it's not too late. Do the needful. Reach out to the Deputy National Chairman of the Ralph Nwosu ADC. See how you can involve him, bring him on board. And finally, let me remind you, if you haven't watched my video on the calendar as INEC has published for Nigerians, July 14th to July 28th, 2026 is the period within which political parties will submit nomination forms for presidential candidates and those contesting in the National Assembly. That's those contesting for the Senate and the House of Representatives. That's July 14th to July 28th. So the ADC has up to July 14th to ensure that they do something to make them have candidates nominated. That's the deadline. So saying that, in response to the INEC chairman's observation, saying that you're going to go ahead with your congresses and conventions in spite of the Court of Appeals ruling saying that they don't recognize either of the two factions, and in spite of the INEC chairman's advice to you, think again. Don't go ahead with the congresses and conventions. Go back to the drawing board. This is April, early April. You have till July the 14th to ensure that you come up with candidates. Otherwise, the ADC risks not having a candidate in 2027 presidential election. So I hope that clears everything up on the matter of the ADC. And that's why you have to give it to the APC. They know about processes, they know about the elections, they know about electioneering. There's no point blaming them because they know how to do things. You understand? If you are making your own mistake, don't blame the ruling party for that mistake. I read somewhere, someone said PDP has problems, Labour Party has problems, the ADC has problems. The only party that doesn't have problems is the APC. Are you surprised? I'm not.